Alright, we're back, part 2. So we've got changed the tuning on an old guitar. This is a less than $100 guitar, and now I've got my cello. Now, what are we going to do with it? This is the everything chart for that cello. What we're going to do, it turns out, we've got our modal. If we wanted to do Dorian in the key of 7, there's 2 Dorians though. So let's do the Dorian. See, this would be key of 7. What do I mean by that? I look at the lowest playable note. This would be the fret nut. In this particular box, Dorian in the key of 7. That would be the fret nut. Okay, sorry that it's kind of a silver color, but that's what it is usually if it's metal. This is the lowest playable note. That's obviously 2 flat. Okay, so if the lowest playable note is that cello C, right, then C would be the second flat of what? It would be the second flat of the key of B. Okay, so that's why we say 7, because in a cage system we talk about C, A, G, E, D, C, A, G, C, D, E, A, G, and in the with this system with counting, 7 would be the 7th would be the key of B. Okay, if the lowest playable note is C, so it's relative, and it happens to also work out with the cage system. I messed up that because I shouldn't be talking about touting the fact that the piano is kind of in the key of C, and so is the cello. Thank goodness. Just lucked out by down tuning my guitar to C. I got used to having this C down here, this C string. So that would be the key of B there. Alright, so and etc. So what we would rather do is play in the key of what? Here, this would be in the key of B flat, wouldn't it? Because remember, this lowest playable note is still a C on our cello, okay, or on a 5-string fiddle that has one lower note strung. You might ask yourself, wow, I asked myself, 5-string fiddle. Why is that? Wow, that's convenient. I got a cello, I got a fiddle, but the 5-string fiddle, well, lucky they put a lower string in it for that 5th string. You know why? Because the cellos, the fiddle and violin are so high, it's normal to put a lower string in there, and that's what they did. It's tuned to C, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So if that C is the 2nd, the key is B flat, so we would play the Dorian there. So it would be the D string shape from our old guitar. Now remember guitar, rev, rev, rev. Remember guitar with the D. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4. Okay, or the long 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now if that's a minor, you play that D minor, it would be here. So we're going to transplant these string shapes onto the 5-string, and because we do that, we have a pattern stack that uses the double string shapes. We're just adding a note. When we add a note, we've got a double string shape. So we've got 2, 3, 4 here, and 3, 4, 5. Okay, whereas on the regular guitar, this is the regular guitar, we would go 2, 3, 4. Next string up would be 3, 4, 5. Let's just go up to the we're going to need a guitar fretboard for this part of the discussion here. Okay, so here's the guitar fretboard. Remember, this is regular guitar now. So we have, if we're doing the Dorian, we're starting here. We've got 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's going to go to 5, 6, 7. But if we go 2, 3, 4, 5, then we've got a doubled 5 there. So you can play P5. I know I kind of shifted. I had a little pause there. And I noticed this when I review my lessons. I kind of shift the subject matter. We're just going brute force here. Okay, brute force. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, root 2. We had to go up a fifth, so we go up a fourth, and then up a whole step from there, and that's how you play fiddle double string guitar string shapes on guitar. But remember now, so we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got the D string shape, 2, 3, 4. We're right here. Let's just circle it out. And this is our little Dorian box right here. Notice I already know that we're going to go below the fret nut there, but we are below the fret nut because that root right there is this. Well, that's if you're playing in the key of F, right? Because it would be the fifth, but it would be. Okay, so we start on the 2 here. Okay, if we're down tuned, if you're not down tuned, you're Mr. Capo. The 2 would be an F sharp minor. Up, didn't hit the tuning warp there. Up a half. If you hit that B string and it sounds flat, you take the pattern up one. That means you're doing it wrong, which you should never do, but you will do it. It's not like, hey, this is supposed to happen. It's just the tuning third between the G and the B string on a regular guitar. It doesn't not happen on the cello fiddle. Luckily, so what we've got is 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 is the A. So we go D, A, E, C, G, and then D again. You see? So that's how the string shapes go. They go in fifths. The fifth of D is A, the fifth of A is E, etc. Only in string shapes, the fifth of E is C, it's not B. The fifth of C is G again, the fifth of G is D, because we kind of fit it to the cage circle there. So that's a little review on guitar, where we have our short string shapes, and the long string shapes are like root 2, 3, or 5, 6, 7 would be the long string shape there. So we would have, if we wanted to do the long one, it'd be 2, 3, 4 would be D, and then 5, 6, 7, we call that 5A, the long string shape. And then root 2, 3, we call that RE, the long root string shape. And then 4C, we have 4C, the long F string shape, okay, the long Lydian string shape. And those are the names of the long guitar string shapes, but we're still going to have to add a note to them for the P5. Okay, so back here with the Cello-Fiddle fretboard, okay, we want to, what are we going to do with this? Well, first thing we have to do is be able to play the scales, okay? And as you know, like on piano, scales are just scales. But you can start, if somebody's playing like a scales are scales, but when you start doing little melodies within that scale. So anybody who says you can't play scales, what they're talking about is we're not going to play like, okay? We're not going to play strict scales, but we're going to play within that scale structure our melodies.